precept upon precept. Now you can find that for yourself in Isaiah 28, verse 10. For it is precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little, there a little. What is that, guys? It's the church. It's religions. It's universities. It's mind control. It's programming. It's dumbing you down. All of it is the reptilian overlords, whether you think that's conspiracy or not. It's real. It's true. And it's all to keep you from doing what Jesus tells you to do. You've got to be as Jesus. We're going to read it a little bit here. He says that we're going to do everything he did and more. All right, remember, John 15, 1-6. I am the true vine and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. And every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit, more miracles. Already you are clean because of the word that I have spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself, unless it abides in the vine. Neither, and again, at the beginning of that, verse 1, I am the true vine. Neither can you, unless I am the vine. You are the branches. Whoever abides in me, and I in him. He it is that bears much fruit, for apart from me you can do nothing. Jesus is in us. He is our higher self. Call it the oversoul. Call it higher consciousness. We, you and me, we are to do the work on ourself. All right, we got to get out of the ego, lower realms, and get that one inner eye open, right? Matthew 6:22, the eye is the lamp of the body. So if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light in you is darkness, how great is the darkness? John 8:12. Again, Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. 1 John 1, 5-7. This is the message we have heard from him and proclaimed to you, that God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. If we say we have fellowship with him while we walk in darkness, we lie. We do not practice the truth. But if we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship with one another. And the blood of Jesus, his son, cleanses us from all sin. So what then is the single eye? Well, it's the pineal gland in the middle of your forehead. Why do I say that? Because Jacob tells us that, right? Jacob, remember when he was wrestling with God? Let's read Genesis 32:30. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, saying, for I have seen God face to face, and yet my life has been delivered. Peniel in the concordance is number 6439, and it means facing God. God is the light, the Father of light, and we are called to turn on our light perceptor. Our pineal gland is that one single inner eye. Remember Jesus' words, Luke 11:34. The light of the body is the eye. Therefore, when thine eye is single, thy whole body also is full of light. But when thy eye is evil, thy body also is full of darkness. If we don't take the responsibility and start doing the work on ourselves and crack the code, again, of what I said at the start, mind control, programming, that has hijacked the collective consciousness. The collective consciousness, we the people, we are in utter darkness. As a species, we've hit the gutter, right? We are in the slums. We are as dumbed down as possible. Their reptilian overlords have won a huge amount of souls. Now, this is why Jesus tells us in Matthew 7, if you're following these social media prophets and pastors, the priest class, The rabbis, whatever name the priest class needs to give themselves, if you're following that, you're going to find Matthew 7:21 to 24 when you cross over, however you want to think of that. This to me is the scariest part of the Bible. I couldn't understand it when I read the Bible literally. But when the code was cracked, the Bible is a sacred text. You're meant to stay in it until the code is cracked and that inner light is turned on immediately. God will do that. God will turn your inner light on. Your consciousness will go above, and it will make congruent the heart and the mind and the soul, and your oversoul, your higher self, will begin to converse with you. And it does it with me every single day. It's amazing. But this is why Jesus says the scariest thing in the Bible to me has always been Matthew 7:21 to 24. Let's read it. Not everyone saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, and in your name cast out devils, and in your name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Therefore whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will like him unto a wise man, and built his house upon a rock. Do you understand in the Bible that you are a rock? You are the stone. Every time it talks about that, that is referencing human. Or rocks, or stones, or vines, branches. It's just, the Bible is an allegory. And if you read it from that higher mind, from that higher self, if you're congruent, if you're not literal, get out of the left brain. If you don't know how to ditch the left brain, you're not going to make it. You're going to hear those words. Right? That is, again, it's the church's job to make the Bible literal. That's what they're going to do. These, it's going to say left brain. It's going to be literal. It's not about connecting with your higher self ever. All right, the church is going to continue. You're going to see more church now. Almost every other church is going to be casting out demons. It's just a way, as these ages wrap up, as these cycles have been going on for probably millions, billions, if not trillions of years. They're cycles, all right, and it's precise. The movement of the sun, the ecliptic, it's all very precise. You can look up in the sky and see the sun has changed. This is not guesswork. It's going rapid fire now. So in other videos, I'll talk about I'll stay specific to the sun and its cycles. Red Kachina, blue Kachina. Our Native Americans were always connected to their higher self, and they understood this. They knew this, and the Hopis never die. They know these cycles are going to come to an end, and they know how to protect themselves. That's why the Hopi line, anyway, I'll get to that in other videos. But right now, let me stick on point here. I'm trying to talk about the temple. All right, the temple. It is our responsibility. All right, Jesus is not going to do this for you. It's your responsibility. Get out of literal, get out of the left brain. The Bible is that code cracker. You got to be in it long enough. At least for me, it was 3 years. I don't know what it's not 3 years for everybody. That's what it was for me. So, as an example, again, we should be operating as Jesus. He tells us in John 14:12, Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. Now look, that's going to happen. And let me just remind you, when that happens, when the people start turning on and they can perform all the miracles of Jesus, when they can restore eyesight, curing the blind or whatever disease, leprosy, when people start resurrecting the dead, right, when little kids are coming into this age, are already enlightened beings and can do this and are performing these miracles, what's the church going to do? Collectively, what is the church going to do? And everybody, the collective consciousness, they will all call it evil, witchcraft, and sorcery. It will be the church that will be crucifying the little kids because they came in and could do what Jesus said we should be able to do. All right? It will be the church calling good evil and evil good. When we are doing everything that Jesus told us we could do, everything that he did and more, that will be the prophecy of Isaiah 5:20 coming true. Isaiah 5:20, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. This is here today. Right, there's kids being born right now at age 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to see their abilities as everything that Jesus could do. And what is going to be done about that? Well, we'll wait and see. This is just the age of Pisces wrapping up, right? The age of Pisces, the collective intelligence, I don't know, is it like maybe at a 3? Collective intelligence at a 3. That's how bad we have become as a species. So I started this video with precept upon precept. Again, that's the sermons, lectures given in churches. It's all talk. There's no connection to the inner eye, no connection to the higher self where Jesus is. He's not outside of us. He's not coming to rapture us. There is something coming that's going to leave others in pure darkness. There is that. Something's coming. I will get to the mechanics of what's coming during this series. All right, so Jesus is the light of ourself, and how we connect to our Father of light by turning away from the foolishness of lectures we call sermons and understand our brains have been hijacked. Our single eye, called by New Agers the third eye, has been hijacked. So we stay on a spin cycle while Earth Sun, that's right, Earth Sun, S-U-N, goes through its cycle as it always has been and always will be. It's just a cycle. It keeps repeating. All life will reset back to the red sun. Again, the Hopi call it red Kachina. We are currently in the white sun that is emitting blue rays. That is the blue Kachina. Pause and read the blue Kachina, the blue star Kachina prophecy. I talk about it for 2 hours when I take people out on tours. In less than 15 years, that's going to happen. We got 15 years left to figure this out. Because all life forms are going to change. Now that's either going to be for the better or the worse. As the Dark Lord reptilians running life on this planet will now be more aggressive and capturing souls. And they will capture many. Why? Because everybody will be in fear. They'll be in fear because they'll begin to see the supernatural in ways no human has ever imagined. And many, quite literally, will go insane with fear. The consciousness of all life on this planet will now start to wake up. And they will start to interact with us. What does that mean? All life has consciousness. The mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom. Well, wait till the trees wake up and they want revenge for how many of their brothers and sisters we cut down. Oh, wait till that happens. Wait till the rock and animal kingdom consciousness wakes up and starts talking. Everything is consciousness, and it will begin to act in a way never recorded possible. Why? Because the Bible, we've only been in the Piscean age. We don't know about the other ages. The indigenous people know. You need to go to them to find out about the other ages. I've already done that. I took 2 months off of reading the Bible at all, and I went and looked at the indigenous stories. You can still find them online. Soon that's going to be gone. But I've got it recorded in my heart. It's written on my soul. I know what it is. I know what the other ages did, what happened. There's nothing new under the sun. It's how we know this is going to happen. The indigenous record this oral. They keep these traditions and understandings alive. They understand the cycle of the sun. I'm going to make some videos just on the Hopi prophecy and on the Apache creation story and on the life of Cochise and Geronimo, because if you ever wondered what faith looks like in action, it's Cochise and Geronimo, hands down. I spent 2 years doing nothing but studying their lives before I was rescued, when I was making tours around the Apache wars here. Anyway, going back to this kingdom, not only is all of the consciousness on the surface going to become alive and active with this, so will the whatever's been underground, now never having shown themselves, carefully hiding. We've had sightings here and there. There's been sightings of dogmen and dragons and thunderbirds and all sorts of things, trolls, fairies. You know, there's been sightings, but they're going to be given a veil. That veil that's talked about in the Bible, that veil is going to be lifted. Maybe the next one I'll call the veil, and I'll concentrate on the veil in this series. But anyway, the elementals talked about in the Bible. The Greek word in the Bible is something like stoichia, something like that. Anyways, if you're wondering about the 6 verses in the Bible that talk about the howling that's going to go on, when this stuff starts happening, it'll be humans doing the howling. The humans will be scared out of their mind because they are not supernaturally trained to understand, to telepathically talk with, and give the proper respect to the demons. Yeah, you heard me right. Respect to the demons. There are some demons that you do not, if you do not show respect to, woe to you. That's all I'm going to say about that one. I'll read 3 of the verses of the howling that's going to be happening here, starting with this full moon. Actually today, October 17, 2024, this begins a new cycle. This starts a new cycle, and here's what we can expect. Jeremiah 25:36. A voice of the cry of the shepherds and a howling of the principal of the flock shall be heard, for the Lord hath spoiled their pasture. They're not going to be able to be underground anymore. They're not going to be able to hide. All right, the earthquakes and the volcanoes is going to bring all of that stuff up. That's how the Lord's spoiling their pasture. Their homes will collapse. Their tunnels will collapse. Their cities will collapse. The water will give way. Water will be emptied out in places, and you'll see what's been hidden by the water. All of that's coming. Zephaniah 1:10. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. That's seals breaking right there. Zechariah 11:3. There is a voice of the howling of the shepherds, for their glory is spoiled. A voice of the roaring of young lions, for the pride of Jordan is spoiled. Without your light turned on, so they cannot harm you. If you're wondering how you're not going to get harmed by the scorpions coming out of the pit, that third eye better be on. That's the seal on your forehead. They can't harm you if you're in your light. But if you're not, if you cannot telepathically communicate, you're going to lose your soul in this event. It's a cycle like clockwork. It's going to happen, and no one can stop the sun doing its changeover. Just as it was once yellow, I've said in prior videos, it's white and it's emitting blue rays. Just do a Google search. You can see science has been talking, NASA has been talking about it for years now. Your inner eye can only see these blue rays being emitted. Your physical eyes can't. Now, your physical eyes have scales on them. Your inner eye only. That is the only way to save your soul in the upcoming awakening. Most humans will not awake, but the rest of the world will. The other kingdoms, not human, they will awake. The element, they've gone through these cycles. It's in their collective memory. It's in their roots. It's in their very foundation. They understand it. Most people will be living through Ezekiel 13. Pause now and just read Ezekiel 13 and take it in. Get your own understanding on what Ezekiel 13 is telling you. It's telling you about this event that is called by NASA. In 1987, it was discovered. In our generation, you and me, Potters, and there was an event that started happening, recorded by NASA's telescopes, what have you. It's called a supernova 1987A. It is known as the single eye in the sky. Okay, I'm going to show it to you. Hold on here a moment. Let me just show you images of that. All right, this is what I'm talking about. This is the supernova 1987A. This eye, they call it an eye because it looks like an eye. It was closed and now it's awake. It's literally the eye opening. So these are all images. All you have to do, here's what I Googled. See that? That's all I did. That's what you can do, and you can read this for yourself. This is the eye of God. This is the eye of God, in case you're wondering. Okay. And then here it is. Let me give you I'm just gonna show you what I Googled so you can read it yourself. What is happening today with supernova 1987A? And there's a whole thing. You can just pause this video, right? I got the whole thing on the screen. You can just pause it and read. You can read about this. You need to understand what's happening in the cosmos, as above, so below, as within, so without. If you don't understand the cosmos, you're not going to get that inner eye open. That's just all there is to that. You've got to know what's going on. God created something more than just humans. You've got to know about the cosmos. Now, there's an article that you can go find. I already did. I found it today. February. It's labeled. It's out of the main newspaper in Baltimore, Maryland, February 17, 2000, talking about this event that I just showed you. They said this event started a collision in the sky that is the most violent explosion ever witnessed in our time. Hubble released images saying it was the sky's equivalent of the sinking of the Titanic. That was a quote by Robert Kirshner of the Harvard Smithsonian of Astrophysics stated in the article, the eye is open, the dancing around has started, and the slugfest will now begin. He literally said that. Does that make you just like drop the mic? It's like, wait, what? What slugfest? What are you talking about? Have we not all witnessed the slugfest in this country with the woke stupidity? The politicians, they talk about a slugfest. Wow. It's been going on for 24 years since this article. The article I just read to you was written in 2000. So how does he know? He is a high up. He is a Harvard astrophysicist. That means he has a reptilian handler. You don't get into those kind of high positions with that kind of technology and that kind of knowledge without having a reptilian handler. You don't. You do not get into those positions. This is very carefully controlled. Right? Nobody with any type of intelligence has been talking since, I don't know, Plato? Was that the last time we heard anything intelligent, Plato? How long ago was that? Do you see my point? Now, why am I saying this? He has a reptilian, I can recognize it. I see these people, it's in my soul. I've had a handler my whole life. A reptilian handler my whole life, all right? I know what it looks like. I know what it sounds like. I know how this thing dances. I know the mechanics of it. By spiritual law, with the humans, they can do anything they want, but they must tell us always in advance. So call it the news, call it media, call it NASA, call it movies, Hollywood, songs, video games. It's all there in a million different ways. It's like, okay, if you don't watch video games, maybe you'll watch a movie, maybe you'll listen to a song. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? For every kind of mindset and timeline, it's there. Right? They've been talking about zombies for over, 50 years at least. And the church is in charge of hiding all of this while they're getting rich. Church is just a business. Religion is a business, like it or not. And nobody's become enlightened in a church. Nobody started, I got turned. Why? Because that would be sorcery. That would be witchcraft. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't, if you did what Jesus did, be sorcery and witchcraft? You don't think the church is the first to point their finger? What is that supernova doing? It's releasing DNA. Now again, I spend my time and I study about this stuff because I want to know the cosmos. I have quite literally put in over $1,000 between online courses and books on just the cosmos, on just the planets. Exactly. What is the most ancient knowledge that I can find? What does the indigenous have to say about the cosmos? That's what I study now. The videos are coming from that kind of information. This thing is releasing DNA. So now let's talk about your temple. All religious people, right, they think the building of the temple, like I did. I was literal. I was a Biblican, and I took it literally. And I too, at one time before the understanding happened and the light came on, I thought that the temple was about a building waiting to be built in Jerusalem. I now know that's beyond stupid. But I too thought that at one time when I took the Bible literally. I no longer do that. These stories are to wake up a light that is in you. It is in your temple. It's in your temple. The Bible is personal, not literal. Right? It unlocks your DNA and it aligns you with the cosmos of the light. Your temple is your DNA. Let's look at the structure of DNA. DNA is a spiraling ladder. Yes, your DNA is Jacob's ladder, and it's here now. As in, everyone on the planet has been sending their DNA, which, by the way, if you just rearrange that word, that's how they trick you with language. DNA, tribe of Dan. We all know that's the Antichrist. Not a literal person. You know what I'm saying. I hope you do. I don't know. So anyways, everybody's been sending their DNA to companies like, the only one I know of that has a name is 23andMe. And I know 23andMe, it's an ancestry thing. Everybody's looking for their ancestors. 23andMe has been sold to BlackRock. Probably all DNA companies BlackRock owns by now. It's hard to track that stuff down, but 23andMe is for sure owned by BlackRock today. So everybody's been sending their DNA, right, through the smoke screen. You think it's fun, right, to track your family tree. It's really handing over the rights to your soul. Those companies have been sold again to BlackRock. BlackRock has patents on every single rung on the ladder of our DNA. They have patents. And USA, at least USA, I went and looked at it. This country will give you a free patent. You don't even have to pay for the patent. If you want a patent on someone's DNA, this country will give it to you for free. The patent office have been backed up for so long now with just patents on DNA. Go look it up. This has been going on since we discovered DNA. This is how long it's been going on. The patents on DNA is unbelievable. Why? Everybody has a unique rung on their DNA ladder. We all have a soul signature. The breath of God is in us. On someone's rung on their ladder, they have a cure within ourselves to every disease ever known on the planet. Now, people like BlackRock, whoever it is runs that stuff, they understand that. And they know by getting patents on our DNA, our rungs on the ladder, they can rent those rungs out, they can rent those patents out for a daily fee. And Big Pharma, all that money Big Pharma has is on renting, paying rent, right? Paying rent on our DNA. It's being done by all of the nations, Big Pharma, whatever nation that particular pharma's, Big Pharma's in, Big Brother's in. All nations at this point are nothing but making merchandise out of humans. There's hardly any nations of the land any longer. Nations have all been turned over into corporations that are run by maritime law. It's run by the laws of the sea. If you don't understand that, you need to go look into that. It's real. USA became a corporation in 1868 once we assassinated Lincoln. We've not been a nation of land. We only were a nation of land, what our forefathers wanted, for a mere 92 years. We didn't even make it to 100 years old. We have been dead. We are run by maritime law. Did you catch the video on the evil that is in the waters? Do you understand that what's in the waters? What did I call it? I don't remember what I called it, but it would be something around, the water, the sea, the demons of the sea, something along those lines, whatever it was. I read so many books on that. Anyway, again, DNA, always, as Isaiah says, Isaiah 30, I believe it is, top of my head, you got to turn things upside down and forwards and backwards to understand how they dupe the language. All right, the sorcery's in the language. DNA, those are the letters for Dan. All right, go read about the tribe of Dan if you don't. So anyway, that's the agenda. You can look it all up. I already did. According to them, at this time, they have 3 billion rungs on the ladder now decoded. They know the cures, but it's not for us. It's for their hybrids. This DNA thing is the trouble of Jacob's ladder. And it's in the tables, right? This whole thing, think about the money changers now in the temple. All right, why did Jesus go and turn over the money changer tables in the temple? All right, it's about making merchandise out of us. Jesus is in us. That's why he did it. Jesus is in us. And our soul, our signature is in our DNA. And they are capturing your DNA like crazy. Are you kidding? I never once was taken, never once. And over 1,000 times was I taken, did they not take my blood? They always took my blood, always. And they left me, they didn't heal the wound. They would take it in a violent way, and they would leave the wound open, and I would wake up in puddles of blood. Anybody that's known me for 5 minutes knows that. Like in real life, not through a video. Anyway, so they've seen pictures. I've sent pictures to my friends. It's like, look at the blood I woke up in. So anyways, it's all about profit. Your DNA is about profit. Profit in the Bible, I'm going to wrap this, I'm going to have to do part 2 on this one. Let me just wrap this up. Don't think that profit in the Bible is spelled with a PH. It's not. It's an F. Everything to do about profits in the Bible is on money. All right, the Bible is sacred text, and there is a mystery language behind the words you read. If you don't understand the mystery sacred language behind the words you read, you're not cracking the code. All right, there is a different language that's going on, and it takes time for your inner eye to see that. It's almost like the words on the page kind of drift away, and you see what's behind the words. It's a story within a story. There's something behind the words that you're reading. And it takes time and patience. And it takes the want. It takes the ability, the curiosity. It takes your soul screaming at you, get off the spin cycle. All right? And don't get crucified. You're here, get that inner light going, get that eye open, be who you are. You are like Jesus. But again, you're going to have to accept, as Jesus accepted, you're going to be crucified for doing the work. Amen, Potter? Was that bad news? I'm sorry.